What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is a bit of a sad one because unfortunately, I had a bit of a bit of an accident with my car and there is some damage. All right, so that is the damage that happened to the car. What happened was I was, getting into a really tight kind of parking lot, and yeah, it was really tiny. It was so dark, I couldn't see well in there, and yeah, I scraped the front splitter and a bit of the bumper on the edge of that sort of parking lot entryway. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to remove scratches from your paintwork. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fix the front lip in this video because I don't have any plasti dip, but I have ordered it, so should be here by the time I film the next video, so you guys will get to see that next time. But today we're going to try to get rid of the scratch on the bumper. If you guys want to know how to touch up your paint and fix some minor imperfections here or there, stick around and yeah, we'll get started. Let's go. Okay, and this is what I have for today's video. I've got the drill obviously because yeah, the lip is a little loose, you guys are gonna see, so I have to like kind of drill it back onto the car because one of the screws came loose when I scraped it. I do also have this spray can over here, and then we've got this clear coat spray which I'm also going to use. One thing you need to know when working on your car is the paint code for your specific car, and in a lot of cars you can find it on the door. So for example, with my car, if I look down here on the door, that's where I can see the paint code for the actual color of the car. And then you can go ahead and order the correct matching paint for your car from the manufacturer or dealer, or just buy it at a store if you can find it at at an auto parts store or something like that. I'm gonna mask up the car to prevent paint from getting where I don't want it to get. I'm gonna try a few different techniques today. I've got the spray bottle and I've got some very fine sandpaper. So this is like what? This is 320. This is 320 grit sandpaper. So I'm gonna try to sand down the scratch and see what happens. But I wanna try a kind of miracle product before we do that. So hang on. Okay, I bought this and yeah, this is supposedly supposed to remove scratches from your car. I don't know if that is true or not. I don't know if that works. I'm gonna try using this first and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so this product right here is supposedly supposed to be very good at removing scratches. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see. Let's see what happens. I'm just gonna spray it onto the car. Okay, this is water, so I'm gonna spray water. So this product honestly wasn't too bad. For what it is, it does a pretty good job at removing superficial scratches, but as I said, the damage to my bumper went much deeper than that. So after trying and failing to get it to work, I did have to eventually concede that I was going to need a bit more. And even though I wasn't using the exact correct microfiber cloth that I should have been using, but these scratches were way too deep to simply be removed by this. So I'm gonna have to spray it, so let's go. Whenever you do anything that involves painting your car, remember that your prep work will honestly be key to you achieving the best results. So make sure you take your time. It is time consuming, it is tedious, but honestly, taking the time to do it correctly is what will give you those great results. So make sure that you do your masking correctly and also know where you should mask and where you shouldn't mask. But make sure you take the time to do it right. So basically what you saw me doing there was deciding how much of the paint I want to blend in. I was told that when you're basically spraying your car, you don't want to spray just one little section. You always want to blend the paint in with the paint that's already on the car so that it's not super obvious that you sprayed on new paint in that spot. So now I'm going to use this sandpaper. It's very fine sandpaper. I'm going to use that to basically smooth out the scratch on the car. What I'm doing here is I'm using a spray bottle with water and that fine sandpaper to gently sand down the scratch because I want it to be as smooth as possible. So whenever you have a really deep scratch, it can have some jagged edges, and so if you just try to spray on top of that, the paint wouldn't be flat and it could actually be clearly visible that there was a scratch there and it was just covered up with paint. But when you sand it down and make it nice and flat, that's where the paint will actually sit nicely. So take your time with this. Don't be too hard, don't put too much pressure, just gently sand down the scratch until it feels smooth to the touch and you should be good. I'm basically done with the sanding. What I was going for when I was doing this was sanding this down to the point where it feels smooth to the touch. Now, as I'm running my finger over it, it feels very smooth. I know it obviously looks like trash because, you know, there's no paint on there, but it feels very smooth, which is the important thing. Because when I spray the paint, I want the paint to sit nice and flat on the body of the car and cover up the scratch really, really nicely. With the prep work out of the way, I could finally start spraying the car. And when you're spraying, always remember to do enough coats. Don't go too light, do enough. And that is what the scratch is looking like so far. You can see it's almost covered up. You can still see it though from there to here, but it's basically almost covered up. And I'm not seeing any obvious points where you can tell that this part has been painted, so that's good. So let's crack on, get the scratch fully covered up, and yeah, see what it looks like. I'm not done yet, but I just wanted to explain basically what I'm doing. So if you're gonna try to cover up some scratches on your car, you want to start with step one like I did, which is like sanding it down, make sure they're smooth, and then you want to spray in a controlled motion. And again, just as you can see with my masking, although the scratch was in this region over here, but I didn't mask like super close just because I wanted to blend the paint into the rest of the body. So that's why I left this part unmasked as well, and this edge over here, but the scratch was somewhere here. It turned out pretty good. So now I'm just gonna use the last, one or two coats to kind of blend in the rest of the paint anywhere. So here I've actually done the primary covering up of the scratch, and I've removed all the masking that I did apart from on the lights, and I'm now blending any harsh lines that I saw into the paint on the rest of the body to sort of make it look natural. This technique is to hide any lines. So when you mask a car and you're painting, just like you saw before with the tape, it's very easy to get a very hard line. And because this is new paint and the car's, the rest of the paint on the car obviously isn't new, there's gonna be a bit of a noticeable difference between where the line of the tape was and where you put the new paint. So basically the reason why I took everything off is so that I could just do those light coats to kind of like blend it into the rest of the body. I'm not a professional painter, I'm not a mechanic, I'm just a dude working on his project car. So if I'm not using the correct terminology, or you're like, that's the wrong way to do it, listen. This is an old car, it's a project car. I got it just so I could, drive it around, have fun with it, make videos with it, do some DIY stuff just to show other guys who are like just getting into cars, or if you just bought your first car, how to do simple mods and simple things to their cars. So not everything I do is gonna be like expert level, but honestly, this looks pretty good. Okay, so look at that. And this is without the clear coat. So the clear coat is not on yet. I'm gonna be putting a body kit on this car eventually. So yeah, I just want the bumper to look presentable. And as you do the final bit of blending, make sure you get up, look at the car from different angles, and just make sure all the paint is blended. That will be what is hopefully the final coat of clear coat. Super tired. Yeah, but I think it's looking really good right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'll come back down here and show you guys the final result. This will actually be the first time that you guys see the final results without me going to the car wash, because with this, I wanna let it dry for at least, 20 hours. But obviously you guys are gonna get a time skip, so here you go. And this is the moment of truth. So the car has had hours and hours and hours to get dry. So this is what it is looking like right now. Boom. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the scratch is completely gone. Yeah, don't mind the front lip. Again, I damaged this front lip when I caused this scratch over here. But yeah, pretty much covered up. Really happy with what I did, because yeah, it was gonna really suck to like drive around with that like nasty scratch on my bumper. No ways. This is our project car. We always need to be looking fresh. That said, I will have to sort out that front lip. I might replace that piece, or I might just change out the entire front lip and go for something else. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if I'm not able to cover it up or repair it, then I'll just replace everything. That'll be another video. But yeah, really happy with the scratch repair on the Hyundai Sonata. And now you guys know how to repair any scratches on your cars too. So yeah, if you enjoyed that video, please drop me a like. A subscription would be appreciated too. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.